All right, good morning, guys. I am meteorologist Ben Peine here in I was going to say Extol Media Studios, but we're in the Peine household here, day two. Not snowed in or anything, but we actually have a car that is being worked on. So a lot easier just to do it here from home. We'll be likely back in the studios for tomorrow. But we have Old Man Winter lingering for a very long time. We might see a mid-December little bit of a warm up, but overall, just get used to bundling up. We had some 20s this morning, and we've got some stubborn clouds out there as well. I can bring up a look at some of these stubborn clouds. Thanks for joining us, by the way. If you're popping in from Facebook on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather. Feel free to drop in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, stop by, say hi, and feel free to ask any weather question. Try to put me to the test if you'd like, and I'll see what we can do. We also have, obviously, it's Wednesdays with Weddington, too, today. So we're going to be talking with Brad Weddington. We're going to put him to the test here in just a little bit. So you can see the information at the bottom of your screen. If you ever want to learn more about Weddington Custom Homes, you can go to weddingtoncustomhomes.com. He's also got Weddington Custom Homes on Instagram and Wednesdays with Weddington on Facebook as well. So we'll be chatting him up here in just a little bit. A couple announcements too while we wait here. And again, as usual from home, we're going to put the power of Starlink internet to the test. And it actually won out yesterday because Spectrum was out around our region yesterday morning, but Starlink was good. So every once in a while, there might be a little bit of a dropout, but it usually comes right back. If you ever want to partner up with us, hey, we're right here, Ben at extolmag.com or Jason at extolmag.com for your advertising marketing solution. We have reached 2 million views on my Facebook page alone over the last 28 days. So thanks for your support. Obviously, getting a big reach across the region, Kentucky and Indiana. So if you know an organization or business that would like to partner up, there you go. Also, I want to mention too, NWSB, any location, don't have to be a member, through December 15th, they are collecting for REACH, food program for kids, canned food, non-perishable items. You can bring them to any location there. Also, this Saturday, I'll be hosting the Jingle Bell Run for the Arthritis Foundation of Louisville, and it is at Tom Sawyer Park. There's time to sign up if you'd like to. You can go to jbr.org/Louisville and find out more. And the hour before, so starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's booths, there's Christmas music, there's people dressed up, having a good time. And then at 9 a.m., the 5K begins. It looks like the weather is looking good and appropriately chilly for the run. All right, so if you're new to the program here, we get your forecast right off the bat. And then we will dig into the longer details of the forecast, some weather jokes we've got loaded for you, weather history, which are looking interesting today. And then I'd say, a little bit later, we'll be, if you want to hang on and get really weather nerdy, we'll be diving into the weather models and doing some analysis there. But here is our weather headlines for today. Long cold pattern set up for us. Winter beginning early. Some flurries early Thursday. So overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, it looks like we'll have a cold front bringing in a few flurries to the area. I don't think it'll cause any problems out there. And then a little bit of a wintry mix over Kentucky, it looks like early Friday possible. It looks like it'll stay south of Indiana. And then maybe a little late Sunday, early Monday mix potential as well. This is a look at some of the flurries overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning. So maybe around sunrise, there could be some snowflakes hitting the windshield early tomorrow morning. So again, we'll cover more on that here in just a little bit. Current conditions around the region. Here's a look at the radar and satellite. Again, we've got some pesky clouds. Notice as the sun rises, the visible satellite picks up on the clouds and is showing this low level deck. And we want that to eventually erode a bit and get some peaks of sunshine across the area. But for now, it is still pretty gray and gloomy across the region as we speak. All right, going to pop myself back up here and take a look at a couple comments popping in. So good Wednesday morning. Happy hump day to you. We've got Orlean Whitlow, good morning. 23 degrees there in Hodgenville for a low temperature. 26 now, just cold. That's a good way to put it. And a cheers to you guys this morning. Same here. Number 2, big cup of coffee here, Perry Porter. Thanks for popping in the comments this morning from Borden, Indiana. And let me get rid of the radar and satellite here and bring up some other stuff. We'll take another live look outside. Lillian Lasley with a good morning. 25 when got up and 27 degrees now. Thanks for your live weather reports, by the way. We appreciate that. And here's, again, a lot of different weather sources that I've already updated this morning for you. And we've got our live show up. As you can see right now, we got 24 degrees, the current temperature. Extol Media Studios. That is where you'll find hourly forecasts. So the forecast throughout the for tomorrow. And we got the 7-day forecast I've just posted right there. We'll talk more about that coming up. The weather story that also has your weather jokes, weather history, and all that good stuff. And if you cruise on down, you've got Indiana weather and traffic and this fun and large interactive weather map with dozens of weather layers. And the best looking layer that I found today is if you click on satellite, look at all of these clouds that are lingering across the region right there. So look at that load up. A pretty cloudy continental United States. All that white right there. Sunshine over the mid-Atlantic and out west. And so what we want to happen today is these clouds eventually break apart. It would be nice to see a little bit of sunshine. But this huge interactive map with dozens of weather layers there for you at extolmag.com/weather. I've got my weather story again updated here this morning. Here's a live look at just looks like the tundra out there along the Ohio River with the gray sky above the white little blanket of snow that we have there. It's a live look here with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. And we've got a few more comments here. Christian Walker with a good morning. 22 there up in Carmel. We've got he's got the countdown going. 29 days until New Year's. We got the countdown here in just a second. Gail Lemons with a good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for dropping in the comments here as well. Feel free to let us know where you're watching from. And again, weather questions. If you have any questions from around the home, we've got Brad Weddington. We're going to put him to the test. We're going to put him on the hot seat. We've got a few good questions here coming up for Brad. And maybe I'll add a few more as well. Do want to thank our partners, and then we'll dive into the forecast here for you. Lions Roofing, this time of the year especially, make sure there's nothing leaky going on. If you see any shingles that are messed up, give them a shout. 812-294-3595. Both sides of the river. Got you covered in Metro Louisville as well. You can get free estimates here online. Right out of Memphis, Indiana, family owned. And check your gutters. Anything else around the home, commercial, residential, financial help. They got you. They can help you figure it all out here for you. And you can go to their website and learn, of course, a lot more. That is lyonsroofingco.com. And again, 812-294-3595. Again, they've personally helped out my family. Same with here with Michael Long with American Family Insurance. I was hoping there wouldn't be a lot of claims yesterday because of the slide-offs yesterday early morning covering the slick roads. So hopefully he didn't get too busy with that. But he is very helpful insurance agent, has helped us over the years, probably about a decade now. So if you want to get a quote, you'll find several ways for you to save. Tell them I sent you 812-578-3072, not just car, not just home, life insurance, a lot of other ways and things that you can insure as well. And hey, it's Tuesday. That means Tuesdays at the Tech, Ivy Tech Community College in Sellersburg. You can find out more about registering for Tuesdays at the Tech. What is Tuesdays at the Tech? What does it mean? It means you can get one-on-one information with a faculty member. They give you a tour around, and they're going to help you out with financial aid opportunities, veterans benefits, talking about all the different programs, career counseling. And you can go to the programs here at ivytech.edu. Say you go to HVAC. You're going to get average salaries starting off and the career options, what you'll learn, and learn a whole lot more. So huge resource right here in our backyard, powering the workforce here in Southern Indiana. So check it out. So again, thanks to all of our partners here on Ben at 10. All right, let me bring it up to the stage here as we look at the forecast. It is time to dig in, and then here in a few minutes after the 7-day, we'll pop Brad Weddington from Weddington Custom Homes on the page, on the show. And again, right there at the bottom of your screen, there you can see some more information. If you want to email Brad or email me questions, there's the way you can do that. All right, here we go to the forecast. Again, a long cold pattern, some flurries overnight tonight, early Thursday morning. Why flurries? Cold front. It's going to bring in a reinforcing shot of cold air. Yeah, today's cold, mid-30s, but tomorrow even colder as we struggle to hit freezing for our high Thursday. So this little blanket of snow might linger for a little while longer with not a whole lot of melting going on. And then it looks like a little mix is going to show up in Kentucky Friday. Looks like it'll stay south of Indiana on Friday. We'll look at the maps here in just a second. And then maybe a little wintry mix again Sunday and a Monday. No big systems I don't see anytime soon. There's a look at the map of some flurries. I think that was the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. And so that is right around 6 a.m. You can see it dropping in from the north on the leading edge, that reinforcing shot of cold air. We've got Dennis Gregory with a good morning from Bedford, a cold Bedford, Indiana, and Erica from Charlestown. Good morning. And my daughter's got an early IU class at like 8 a.m. So she had to get out there early and walk to class. So how many days until the countdown continues? Winter begins in 18 days with the winter solstice. Christmas in 22 days, time change in 95 days, and springtime in 107 days. And our stupid weather jokes of the day today. What do snowmen call their kids? Children. What does the snowman do when his arm hurts? He ices it. These are all snowman jokes. Oh, and I misspelled snowman below. What does the snowman, that's when you know it's not totally AI, when you misspell something. What does the snowman take when he's sick? A chill pill. And today's weather history. Way back in 1838, the father of the Weather Service, Cleveland Abe, was born, pioneered the nationwide weather report collection, leading to the government service of weather reports. 1905, the first In 1991, a sad situation here. Former Kentucky Governor Burt Combs swept to his death in the Red River flash flood. 1999, the storm of the century for Denmark. 110 plus mile per hour winds, 2 billion in euro damage, and 20 plus deaths across Europe. And Orlean, I'm hoping for some sunshine this afternoon. Maybe not much tomorrow, though, with that cold front moving through. Christian, appreciate you. The weather jokes there. All right, our high today, 36 degrees. Trying for some afternoon sunshine. Need some of these stubborn clouds to mix out. We have some moisture that is trapped like below 5,000 feet, and then high pressure above that that's kind of trapping it, not letting us clear out these clouds so far. But a light breeze from the south at around 5 miles per hour. These are the earliest sunsets of the year at 5:22. And tonight, some flurries with a low of 26 degrees. Just bundling up, heading out the door tomorrow morning. Lillian Lasley, loving the jokes. Appreciate you. Peggy Sipes, good morning. Loving the snow around the area. Still is looking like a winter wonderland here in our backyard. And the forecast here for tomorrow, your Thursday, December the 4th, 26 out the door with maybe some flurries, 30 at noon. Maybe some peaks of sunshine with a high just near freezing. And the 7-day forecast, we could see a little bit of a wintry mix over Kentucky Friday morning, but Indiana so far looks dry with that. Dry Saturday at 41, lows in the 20s. Might get a little bit of a wintry mix late Sunday, early Monday. I don't see any significant accumulation if that happens. And then quiet and cold as we head into next week. Maybe a slight warm up by the middle of next week. Our warmest day there, 46 next Wednesday. So there you go. And now it is time, if he is ready, to bring up Brad Weddington here. Good morning, Brad. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I got you loud and clear.
Oh, very nice. So today we wanted to do something. I don't know if it's different. I thought you might, by the way, you've been outside every morning, rain, shine. I thought you might try to be outside this morning.
I'm hiding in the house in the office this morning. It's cold out there, man.
No,
It's
it's frigid.
frigid. Yeah, I don't know. Is that glare too bad or are we good?
It's probably too much light. We want to see your face, Brad.
All right.
Hey, but cheers to you this morning. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be outside. Probably not good for the phone and everything and the equipment to be outside either when it's this cold.
Gotcha.
But are you ready to be put on the hot seat this morning?
Anything to warm me up, man, that'll be good.
All right, let's bring up a few questions, and I've got a few more questions after these questions. I thought these were kind of interesting. So question number one. Also, by the way, if you're watching, Brad Weddington is a local custom home builder for Southern Indiana, and he actually built this home that I'm in right here. Brad, this was your first home starting your new business?
Yep, that was your house.
And a good, challenging start.
Yeah, there was nothing easy about it. Everybody else got scared of it, and for some reason, I said, "Let's have at it."
Yeah, let's build on a mountain.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's over the years, there's all kinds of cool features people put in because, every home is just as unique as what we build is just as unique as the people that are building them.
So that's question number one. What's the coolest home feature a client has ever asked you to build?
We did a house for an engineer about 8 or 9 years ago that we had a elevator in. We were going to do the elevator, but the price of the elevator was pretty exorbitant. So we actually framed it in, set it all up to be able to do an elevator. And she was going to do that in the future. So we basically did the shaft, got all the electricity there, got everything there that she needed to be able to do a residential elevator, which I thought that was pretty cool.
That would be cool. My neighbor, Steve Miller, actually built himself a neighborhood with I don't pulleys and stuff.
Yeah. I know the house you're talking about up on the top of the hill. Yeah. There's unique. I mean, there's little things like people are doing Costco doors now, things like that. It's really neat when we do a hidden door feature where we build it into a bookcase to where there's a hidden door back behind there, whether it's a safe room behind there or just a closet. Little unique touches like that. They just go a long way.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. We've got a question here. Pop it in the comments real quick. We'll take a quick little detour here from Erica Risotto. Any tips for selecting / putting up a fence? Primarily our puppy, any considerations?
It all depends on the subdivision. If you live in a subdivision, you're going to definitely have HOA rules behind the type of fencing that you can put up. If you're out in a rural area, you're not going to have those same restrictions. And then once again, price comes into play. So if you're out in a rural area without any HOA restrictions, fencing dollar for dollar, chain link's going to be the best route to go for a dog. The problem with that is, like I said, a lot of times in HOAs, they're not going to allow that. Some HOAs will allow what's called vinyl coated chain link, which you can get that in different colors. That's pretty neat because you're not going to get that rust effect that you typically get on a chain link fence. But for dollar, your chain link's going to be the best way to go. If you're in an HOA, a lot of people will use the aluminum system, which is aluminum pickets. Very nice, very clean, kind of gives it that wrought iron look for less cost. But it's still quite a bit more than chain link. But the number one thing to make sure that you do, regardless of whether you're in a subdivision or in a rural area, if you're going to get anywhere close to those property lines, make sure you have a licensed surveyor.
Yeah.
Survey your points.
That becomes an encumbrance if you try to sell your house.
Oh my goodness, it does. And then there's not like a rule on where exactly you have to put the fence. I just know that most fence contractors, if you have a professional survey done, they will still typically set that fence in about 6 inches just to make sure that you're covered and you're 100% on your property.
We lived in a neighborhood in Okolona and it had HOA and all that stuff. It was like a 4-foot fence rule. but we had a busy road behind us, and I was like, that's not happening. So I went ahead and put up a 6-foot fence.
Yeah.
And it kind of passed. We got away with it basically. So I wouldn't advise that.
No. I wouldn't advise that route, but it sounds like something I would do too. So
Yeah. All right. Good question there, Eric. And again, if you guys have any questions, drop them in. We've got question number 2. Again, you were in the middle of talking about some cool things that clients have asked you to do, like an elevator. And you mentioned Costco door. That's the door that goes from your pantry to the garage.
Yep.
And you can just pull in the garage, open up the door, throw in the groceries into the pantry, and boom, there you go.
Yep.
So here we go.
Another cool feature before we jump ahead that I just thought about is, a lot of our floor plans that we're doing now, you'll have access to, you'll have the master bedroom, you'll have the master bathroom, you'll have access to the master closet. And then a lot of times we're having a door out of the master closet to the laundry room.
Okay.
That way you can basically do all of your laundry without ever leaving that master suite area. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we put our laundry upstairs next to our bedroom. So again, convenience factor.
Yep.
All right. Question number 2 for Brad. What's one thing homeowners think is super important, but it really is not a big deal? It's kind of a tough question.
Insulation comes to mind sometimes. And what I mean by that is a lot of people are pretty hot, like people that have done a little bit of research on the front end and they're looking to build a home. One of the things they typically hone in on pretty hard is insulation. I'm not here to tell you it's not important at all by any stretch of the imagination, but what I'm here to tell you is in our area of the country, our utility costs are very, very reasonable. So when you look at bang for your buck, what am I putting into this house that's I'm really realizing in a short period of time as far as monetarily? Insulation, most of your loss is going to be through the ceiling because heat rises. You know how that works, Ben.
Yep.
So when people are putting a bunch of money into foam insulation on their walls, most of your heat doesn't lose it this way. It loses it this way. So there's a lot of cost affiliated with that to fully foam your house. On top of that, if you do a fully foam insulated house, you've basically created, I'm going to say, a Yeti cooler kind of above ground. So if you were to take an old cooler and let it sit there in the heat a couple days, open the lid, it's going to have a musty smell to it because it's the air hasn't had any movement to it. So when you do a fully foam insulated house, you have to do what's called an ERV, which basically pulls fresh air in from the outside.
So it's too tight.
Yes, it's too tight. When you bring that, so you've made the house so tight that you got to cut a hole into the house to bring fresh air in.
Yeah.
To help exchange that air. So you've got another cost affiliated with that. So not only do you have the cost of the increased cost of insulation, you got the increased cost of an additional unit tied to your HVAC system. So when you look at break even on things like that, it takes many, many, many years. So to me, I think one of the best ways you can do to insulate a home for the money is we do a full air sealant package, which means on your framing, all of your studs, any gaps or things like that, little small gaps where they're tight together, we seal all those with caulking, and then we blow cellulose in our exterior walls. In the attic, the best thing to do is do about a 2-inch foam lid on top of the drywall and then blow loose cellulose on top of that. And when you look at what you're gaining for what you're spending, it's about the best route to go. And back to what do they think is super important? I'm going to go back to the foam. A lot of them think that that's super important. We got to make sure we take care of that. But then you look at your, that's tied to one cost of your home, which is the heating and cooling aspect. So
which
Yes,
is
it's going to
appropriate
help.
this time of the year. People
Well,
are thinking about it.
It's going to help reduce your bills on a monthly basis, but there's also things that are drawn off that electricity that are going to be constant. Your refrigerator, your stove, your items like that. So when you look at how much you draw down your utility cost versus the expense of this foam on the front end, it's hard to make it balance out right. Now, as a custom home builder, I will use whatever type of insulation you request. So we've done foam houses. I'm not saying they're a bad home at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
extra cost.
Yeah. From a money standpoint, where can we put more money into the home to help save us money down the road? Sometimes there's other options that are a little bit more reasonable than the insulation aspect.
Okay, good point. Okay, so that was the answer to question number 2. If you're just popping in, one thing homeowners think is super important, but isn't necessarily, and that was related to insulation. Something to think about there. I'm going to get us out of the way here so we can see question number 3, which is, if someone's building their first home, what's the one tip you'd give them right away?
Well,
probably a lot of tips. A lot of tips right away.
It depends. It depends. Let's pretend that this question number 3 person doesn't have any land. They're starting fresh. Just had a meeting yesterday, kind of like this. Honestly, there is some property that's up for auction. I'm not going to say exactly where it is because the auction is still active. But there's some land that's up for auction, and I know these people through a friend of a friend type thing, and they know that I always hit on people and say, hey, make sure you let me take a look at the land before you buy it.
Yeah.
So auction is still active, but you could see the house and the extra parcel. So we met there yesterday. We looked at the land. There's things that I inherently know just by being in this industry that sometimes I assume other people know, and they don't. So it was pretty cool to meet them on this property because they were dead set on wanting to build a walkout. And by looking at the property, it lays great for a right side walkout, but it doesn't lay good for a rear walkout. They were good with that. But it's letting me come out and look at the land is the big thing, because you know as well as I do, Ben, the land makes a huge difference on the cost and the ability to build the home.
Yeah, what's interesting, like, you got to start from the bottom up, because the lay of the land can change the eventual architecture of your home. Because we just had one little flat spot. We couldn't build like a ranch out here. We had to go box on box on box. So what we originally thought we could do, we could not do. We just had to work with whatever land that we had out here. So that might be true for somebody else as well.
Oh, a lot of times the land, yours was a specific case too, to where, yeah, you couldn't have a large footprint on your home. It just couldn't happen. You didn't have enough room to do that, even though you had 30 plus acres to work with. So be leery is what I tell homeowners too. When you find land at this great price, let me come look at it first. because most people know what they own, you know, and if it's a good quality buildable lot, they're going to know, and they're going to charge accordingly.
And like, if you get a discounted lot, like, you might end up having to pay a lot more to make it buildable. I mean, there's a lot in this neighborhood that has a creek running right through the middle of it. Might be able to build on it, but you might have to have an engineer come out and have to spend a lot of money on that. So you never know.
Well, over the years of doing this, we've crossed a creek or two, and that's a fun experience where, if it's on the map as what's called a blue line stream, in other words, if it's on the DNR map as a stream, and you're going to cross it, we've done it twice, 2 projects. One project we're just now finishing up. You have to get permitting through DNR, IDEM, which is Indiana Department of Environmental Management. There's all kinds of permits you have to get to cross a blue line stream, which the typical homeowner has no clue about. Me as a builder, until about 3 years ago, I didn't know how to accomplish it, and I just,
and a lot of red tape scares me.
Yeah, it's not as scary as you think. It's just more paperwork. It's more time. It's crossing more T's, dotting more I's. But yeah, there's things that the average homeowner, when they look at a piece of property, if there's a little creek going through it, they might think that's cool. Me as a builder goes, wow, we're going to have to build on the other side of this creek.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get some authorities involved in it. And that time is money, and it all adds up. So
got a couple comments popping in. Just want to say hello to some folks, and then we'll get back to a couple more questions I have. Robert Simpson, just hoping a little sunshine and a high above freezing today. We're going to try for both, Robert. And Christopher Ramos in the house here. Hey, what's shaking? I'm off in Texas battling tumbleweeds. Keep the snow over yonder, partner. And then Orlean Whitlow, do you recommend 2x6 walls because they hold more insulation?
Anytime you're asking about exterior walls, for me, I'm a huge fan of 2x6 exterior walls. I am.
What do you mean by 2x6?
Okay, so your exterior walls on the house, like this wall behind me that's got a window in it, that's my exterior wall. On my house, it's a 2x4 wall because it was a cost thing. To go 2x6, it costs a little bit more. So you've got a 2x6 wall instead of a 2x4 wall.
Oh, okay.
So when you look at insulation, you've got, I'm going to throw some weird numbers because a 2x4 is actually only 3.5 and a 2x6 is actually only 5.5. So you've got an additional 2 inches of insulation in a 2x6 exterior wall. Plus you got the added strength of a 2x6. I always recommend exterior 2x6 walls.
Okay.
Doesn't mean everybody listens to it. It does. Like I said, on my own house, I've got 2x4 exterior walls. Cost was a factor when I was building my home, so I had to go that route. Another thing, if you go 2x6 exterior walls, you're going to shrink the inside of that home by about 2 inches too. Unless you go out, then you're growing your footage
footprint.
Yeah, so you're losing a little bit to gain that insulation quality and that additional strength of a 2x6. But I think the trade-off's worth it.
All right, tell me if I'm crazy on this. I saw some spec homes going up on Highway 60, and I didn't see like for the wall of the house. I didn't see like plywood or OSB or whatever. I just saw a shiny piece of material. So what is going on some of these walls on some of these homes? Am I going crazy that there's a different material?
I don't like to talk bad about other builders.
All right, could be on any highway. I'm just wondering, like, is this a new thing?
It's not that new.
Okay.
It's you'll see a lot of production home builders use that material. It's 100% cost related. They've got a price point to hit. I get that as a business owner. They got a price point to hit. There's just some things that they'll do that I won't.
And I'm a dummy here. I'm just wondering because I just didn't know if it was a different type of material. I didn't know.
It's like a cardboard, man, and it's only like it's either an eighth or a quarter of an inch thick. It's
So then your siding is over that, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not even a we wrap all of our exterior of our homes in OSB, which the average person knows that as plywood.
Yeah.
But it's actually OSB. So you've got a half of an inch. Well, actually, it's 7/16 of an inch, but you got basically half of an inch of solid, of wood wrapping the entire exterior of your home. It takes more to cut through our exteriors. It takes a saw to get into our house, not a pocket knife.
Interesting. Yeah, I just wondered. Nothing against any builder or whatever. I was just wondering what that was because.
Yeah, it's a type of material that, like I said, is more cardboard based as associated with wood based.
Interesting. All right, my question here. So with the winter months, it's hard to do any concrete work, get foundation work, I assume. More delays in the wintertime, especially with winter starting early. If someone was wanting to build, like if you wanted to build a home as fast as possible, you obviously want to take time and do quality, but what month would you start in to make this thing
as fast as possible?
Like a March, April?
Probably May, just so you can get it in the ground fast. March and April, you've got more rain that you got to battle with. So I'm just thinking of getting in the ground and getting going. I think
Yeah.
the fastest I've ever built a home was when I worked for a production home builder. I think we did it start to finish 57 days. Um, so
Okay.
unbelievably fast. Uh,
Now, what can you do
but
in the winter when it's this cold? Can you pour foundations and?
yeah,
Okay.
so when it comes to the winter time, so the ground in the winter, when the ground freezes, it heaves. Okay. So let's say we dug a basement hole and it froze overnight. We're not going to pour footings on that because that ground is heaved. So if you pour your footings, when that ground relaxes back, it's going to crack them.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is make sure the ground isn't frozen. Um, but as long as the ground isn't frozen, you can pour, depends on the type of concrete too. So if you're pouring footers, which footings are the part you put down to start your foundation. When concrete cures, because it's not a drying process, it's a chemical process. So as concrete is curing, it's a chemical reaction. It generates its own heat. Okay. So the only thing you have to worry about is the surface, because in a footing, you've got a form on the sides and then you got the ground on the bottom. So the only part that's exposed to the elements is the top.
It might take a little bit
So
longer to.
it might freeze and do what's called spalling on the top, which is pretty ugly, but it's aesthetic. It's not
You'll
a
never see it,
structural
really.
thing. Nobody's ever gonna
Yeah.
see it. The biggest thing is, we're not pouring like basement slabs, garage slabs, driveways, things where the top is exposed and will be a finished surface that you're going to see, because it will damage the surface if it freezes before it's fully cured.
Oh, I gotcha. So you can work through the winter, but I would say winter is a good time to prep and get the financials and the paperwork done, and then
Yeah,
get
but
going.
payroll doesn't stop in the winter, so we got to keep moving. So
That's
we
right.
do the best we can, and we're trying to stay like pretty proactive actually this year, to where I've got homes that we have just got framed up, that we've already got. We know the house is going to get propane for the heat, so instead of waiting to the end to bury the propane tank and all that, these houses that are just framed, they already got the tank buried, line ran to the house. So as soon as I get power on the house, I can get furnaces going in these homes, and we
Keep your
can
workers
run them.
warm.
We can keep the workers warm, keep the drywall from freezing and popping. So you just have to be a little bit more prepared in the winter when you're building. And from a construction standpoint, it costs us a little bit more money to build through the winter, because whether it's a furnace that I've got running in a basement, or I've got a handful of, I call them torpedo heaters, but they're the heaters that take diesel fuel. You've got that expense in there. So it costs a little bit more to build through the winter, but we really only get to a standing point for that week to 2 weeks in January, whenever everything is just frozen.
Yeah.
We'll work inside of homes, but as far as starting new homes, we won't be doing it then.
Now you're talking about those torpedo heaters. Now, somebody that might be building a custom home and has a little bit of property might want a good size pole barn.
Yes.
So, a couple things with pole barn questions I got for you. What would be the number one recommendation for someone that wants a pole barn? I would say you're probably going to want more room than you think initially, and then number two, how are you going to heat that thing?
Yeah, when you talk about a pole barn, you can't build one too big. It just doesn't happen. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know what I'd do without the one that I've got, and mine is only 36 by 48, so close to 40 by 50, and I mean it's full. It's full.
Yeah.
When it comes to pole barns, so there's the traditional way to do a pole barn, which is where you have posts that go down into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pole barn. Mine is what's called a post frame building. Okay. The difference between that is, I knew, based on the layout of where my concrete was going to go, I knew where my posts were going to sit. So instead of drilling holes in the dirt and putting posts in the ground, I drilled holes where I knew the posts were going to hit, and then I poured the complete concrete slab.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did brackets and actually bolted my 2x6s to the slab itself. So I have no part of my building is in the ground as far as wood goes. So I don't have to worry about rot, bugs, all that
Okay.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It's a really cool way to build a pole barn.
Very nice. And the second part of that question was, before we wrap up, I thought these 3 questions might take like 5 minutes, but we've been talking for like 30 minutes. But
It's just part of it.
Heat for a pole barn. Because my
If you
neighbor has a
have,
wood stove, and that's pretty awesome. But then you got to, then you're feeding the beast all the time and having to get wood.
it does when you talk about like pole barn, for example, and heating and cooling it. You know, when I look at mine, I've got a torpedo heater out there, like we talked about. On those little torpedo heaters, they do have thermostats on the side that you can turn them up or down. So you can kind of balance that air in there as far as temperature goes. But I'm talking about you can balance it within plus or minus 15, 20 degrees with a torpedo heater. It's not the most accurate. But if you're just going out there every now and again, those are great. Wood burners are really cool. If you're just using your pole barn as a place to hang out, you don't mind stoking a fire every time you go out.
Mm-hmm.
If you want steady, consistent temperature of your barn with the least amount of input, if you want to go out there and you've got it set at 70 and it's going to be 70 every time you go out there, those furnaces that you see where they mount into the corner that are either natural gas or propane lines run to them, that's the best route to go. If you want consistent temperature. So like I've got
somebody's like a woodworker or something that's going to be out in it all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, then again, if you got a woodworker that don't mind stoking a fire, he's got a bunch of scrap wood. He might want a wood burner out there. So it just all depends on the person. Uh-oh. I think I lost you, Ben.
Yeah, we lost both of us. I think we're back on now.
I got you back.
Yeah, I got you. So, yep, I think that's all the questions. All right, if someone wants to get a hold of you, we got information below. It's Wednesdays with Weddington on Facebook. You'll find clips of videos, Instagram, Weddington Custom Homes, and WeddingtonCustomHomes.com. And if somebody wants to build a home, do you have an opening?
I do for the fall. So right now we've got a couple openings for the fall. Like I said, it's a moving target. It's hard to tell when I have availability, when I don't have availability, because at any given time, we've got a handful that we're bidding. So right now we do have openings in the fall. Who knows what 2 or 3 weeks will bring. Like I said, we try to keep a niche company and kind of keep us in that 8 to 12 homes per year range. And we're looking to track on that next year too. So we're pretty excited about it.
Very good. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate you joining us this morning. Fun conversation. We'll put you back on the hot seat. Well, we're going to do this every week, next couple of weeks, I believe.
Yep. Because we skipped last week and then we got Christmas coming up here shortly. So I think we're going to do this every Wednesday for the next 3 weeks straight.
Yep. And for you guys watching, try to get some hard questions for Brad, because you asked me hard questions. He deserves some hard questions too.
Right. Give me the softballs, man. Give me the softball questions.
No more softballs. All right. See you, buddy. We'll see you later.
Right. See ya.
Hopefully warmer next week. All right. That was Brad Weddington with Weddington Custom Homes. Always fun to talk with Brad. I always learn something. I don't know if you learned something or not, but I always learn something and some good questions there. So feel free to, again, email me a question. There's some information there at the bottom of your screen. All right. Let's get a quick look at the 7-day. For those of you popping on a little bit later, we'll do a quick weather model look, and then we'll wrap things up here on Wednesday, a happy hump day. So here's a look at that 7-day forecast. We're going to have a cold front move through tonight, and that's going to bring in some flurries. And that'll give us, I don't think the flurries will cause any issues. What are they called? Like the little snakes that you see, the little snow that's kind of moving around on the roads. Might get some of that early tomorrow morning. And then we're talking a struggle to hit freezing for tomorrow. Old Man Winter has unpacked his bags, unfortunately. And so very cold tomorrow. 30. Thankfully, the winds won't be too strong over the next several days. 38 for the high Friday. Now, it does look like there could be a little bit of a wintry mix over parts of Kentucky early Friday. Right now, that system is still tracking south of Indiana. Dry Saturday, 41. Good for the Jingle Bell Run for the Arthritis Foundation that I'll be hosting at Tom Sawyer Park Saturday morning. That's at 9 a.m. You can still sign up. jbr.org/Louisville. And then maybe a little bit of a wintry mix Sunday to Monday. The Euro and the GFS still not completely in agreement on that timing. The Euro's a little bit later with maybe a little bit of light snow Sunday night, early Monday morning. So I put that little icon between Sunday and Monday. Right now, it kind of looks like late Sunday. It's not a big system. It's just kind of a little bit of a disturbance moving through, almost kind of like a mini clipper that could give us a shot, maybe a little bit of light snow late Sunday. We got Christian popping in the comments with the third cup of coffee this morning. Got an update on his work with the Carmel Fire Department. That is awesome. Good work there, my man. Congratulations. All right, let's bring up to the stage. I'm going to remove this. And actually, I'm going to go back to extolmag.com/weather real quick because we haven't looked at the current temperatures. Which we've got two interactive maps here at extolmag.com that you can check out. Sorry, it's loading up and I'm scrolling through. 24 degrees, our current temperature. It is a frigid one out there. And you can see pretty much all the temperatures here in the 20s. As I bring up the full map right here. And the winds are very light from the south. So there is a look at that. Unfortunately, we got a lot of stubborn clouds across the region. There are some flurries up to our northwest. That's the front that'll move in later today that you see up here to the northwest. And this is the satellite map. We are socked in with some cloud cover, as we can see right here. But we're hoping for some breaks in the clouds a little bit later on today. All right. And this is a look at the cloud cover as well. All that dark gray. We're just not seeing many holes. We got some moisture trapped below 5,000 feet. And it's hard to scour that out with not much wind across the area. And a quick check here as I bring up the weather models. I'm going to bring up, I think we can get the NAM 3 kilometer out to Friday to show you this next system that looks like it'll mainly impact parts of Kentucky, especially southern Kentucky. So let me go ahead and try to bring this up. NAM 3 kilometer precip type. I'm going to jump ahead to Friday morning. So Friday, the 5th of December. Man, this year is going to be gone before we know it. It's been flying by. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to back this up. So this is going to be 4 o'clock. It's actually picked up some pace, the system. This is 4 o'clock in the morning, Friday. You can see it off to the south there. Let me go to 2 a.m. and see if we pop up some stuff here. So maybe a little bit of a wintry mix here. This is like late Thursday night to Friday morning, staying south of Indiana and into Kentucky. Again, a little bit of a wintry mix should not be a big deal for us. All right. And then now I'm going to go into the GFS weather model. And let's jump ahead to Sunday. Sunday is the 7th. I'm going to go to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And let's see what pops up here. So again, the GFS is a little quicker than the European weather model. They both show a little bit of something. This is actually 1 p.m. on Sunday. It shows a little bit of a snow chance right there. Sunday. So again, we'll see if this happens. If this does come in the afternoon, it looks like we'll be above freezing. So I don't think it would cause any significant issues. If it came in a little bit later, late Sunday night, early Monday morning, maybe a light coating of snow possible. But otherwise, no major systems throughout the extended forecast. And I see you there, Tanya. Tanya saying, please, Sunday storm is the day I must travel again. Probably hoping for not a Sunday storm. I wouldn't call it a storm. I think it's just kind of a little disturbance that'll move through and give us a shot of a little bit of a light wintry mix. I don't think it'll cause any big, huge problems. And the European weather model has it kind of overnight, early Monday morning. But we're going to need to take some time here to fine tune the forecast on that, as there's still some discrepancies there with the weather models. The timing on that will get better. I think it'll be brief, it'll be light, and there's a decent chance that it won't cause any significant issues on the roadways. We'll cross our fingers on that. So that is that. Again, a light, early Friday morning Kentucky system should not be big or a huge impact. And then again, Sunday, Monday time frame still looks like a chance around that time frame as well. All right. Let's get back to the forecast here as we start to wrap things up here. 10:51 on the show. You about to head out? All right. The kid had a 2-hour delay. He got to sleep in today. Tanya Davis, happy 63rd birthday. Thanks for being on the show on your birthday. Everybody give a happy birthday. And we'll get rid of this and bring up this. And just a reminder, too, if you ever have a weather question, you ever want to connect, you can always email me, ben@extolmag.com. If you want some, with your business or organization marketing solutions, we've reached over 2 million over the last 28 days just on Facebook. So obviously we can get your word out if you want to connect. NWSB, any branch collecting through December 15th. If you want to drop off canned food items, non-perishable items, this is for REACH food program for kids, snacks and dry cereals as well. And the Jingle Bell Run at Tom Sawyer Park. This is a fun event. I'll be hosting it. 8 a.m. is the hour before the race, where there's a lot going on. There's prizes, there's booths you can check out. There is time to register for that. jbr.org/Louisville. And a long cold pattern continues. Some flurries early tomorrow morning as a cold front moves through, and that's going to drop us to a high of only near freezing for Thursday. And then a little wintry mix, possible early Friday in Kentucky. Shouldn't be a big issue. And then we talked about the Sunday, Monday mix potential. There's our little flurry potential with the models here. Overnight, early tomorrow morning, just a reinforcer of the cold air. And our little countdown, winter begins in 18 days, Christmas in 22 days, time change in 95, spring in 107 days. Our stupid weather jokes, what do snowmen call their kids? Chill, Dren. That's what we say when they're misbehaving. Why don't you guys chill? What does the snowman do when his arm hurts? He ices it. And what does the snowman take when he's sick? A chill pill. And the weather history for today, 1838, the father of the weather service, Cleveland Abe, was born. 1905, the first wireless weather communication between the SS New York via wireless communication. 1983, the Iron Bowl deluge in Birmingham, Alabama, 9+ inches of rain flooded the stadium, also produced an EF3. 1991, former Kentucky Governor Burt Combs swept to his death in the Red River flash flood. 1999, the storm of the century for Denmark with 110+ mile-per-hour winds. 36 degrees for our high today, trying for some peaks of sunshine if we can get these stubborn clouds to break apart a little bit. Otherwise, just a very light south breeze at around 5 miles per hour. 26, our low for tonight with some flurries overnight and early tomorrow morning. And the forecast here for tomorrow, Thursday, December 4th. Just some cold temperatures. One of our coldest days so far this season, I should say, with 32 degrees, your high temperature for tomorrow. 7-day forecast. That little bit of a mix off into the south in Kentucky. Friday, early, 38 for the high. Quiet Saturday, 41. And then maybe a bit of a wintry mix possible late Sunday and into early Monday. We'll fine-tune that forecast. and then staying cold in the next week, but our warmest day right now going at 46 next Wednesday. Not much warmth going on around our area anytime soon. All right, let me get rid of that and bring this guy back up. We got a long show today because we had our friend Brad Weddington of Weddington Custom Homes on the show. If you missed any of it, feel free to watch the replay. Long, good, informative interview about home building. But gray on top of the white blanket of snow across the area here with the Falls, the Ohio Foundation.org camera right there. I want to thank our partners too here for letting us do what we do here on the show. Lyons Roofing, Lyons roofingco.com. Any side of the river, they can help you out throughout Louisville Metro. And give them a call, 812-294-3595, or you can fill out the estimate form here online as well. See you, bud. In the careers section at lyonsroofingco.com, roofing repair technician. They've been super busy, so they might have an opportunity for you. Speaking of opportunities, you can level up or you can start your career, start the beginning of your career here at ivytech.edu, the Sellersburg campus. It is Tuesday. That's why I remind you can sign up for Tuesdays at the Tech, obviously for free. You can register right here online, or you can give them a call, schedule the visit. You can get career coaching, ways to pay. You can get a one-on-one tour of the campus, and if you're ready to do it, you can register. Also, what's cool is all the information that they have on all the programs here. 42 plus programs offered. So you click on nursing, and you can look at the different types of degrees and the cost. And a lot of times you're also going to find the salaries, like beginning salaries here. So very cool information there. Also, want to give a shout out to my buddy here, Michael Long. If you want to get a quote, tell him I sent you. A lot of times when you bundle, you're going to get discounts. So I found that a couple weeks ago. We added some life insurance and our bill went down. Our bill went down when we had, thankfully, our kids got pretty good grades. We got the student discount. If you use their app, their AmFam app, you can get discounts. There's other ways to save too. We're all trying to save some money right now. So you could find ways here. So get a quote here. 812-578-3072. Proud to be an American Star certified agency excellence in customer experience. And I bet if you talk to somebody that knows Michael Long, you're going to get some good recommendations. So there you go. As always, there is a ton of resources here that we put together. If there's anything else you want to see on here, let me know. We can put more maps on here, but we've got a ton of information. So play around with it. But this is at extolmag.com, extolmag.com/weather. A lot of weather tools and information right there. Brenda Collins, thanks for giving us the thumbs up there. Tanya Davis, great pics of the falls. And again, a happy birthday to Tanya. Happy 63rd. And Christian Walker, thanks for tuning in here this morning. All right. Thanks, guys, for being a part of the show on this very cold Wednesday, this wicked cold Wednesday, live from the Peine home here. I should be back in the studios tomorrow. As this has been the year of, so all of our cars have like way over 100,000 miles, pushing 200,000 miles. And it's been a year that they've all broken down. So they've been in and out of the shop. So it's been a fun year of vehicles. So we've got another one in the shop. So that's why we're doing it from home today. But we'll be back at it. Not yet, Christian. We're still working on that. Tanya says, have a blessed day. Lillian says, have a good day. We'll end it with that right there. We'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about probably some flurries tomorrow morning, a mixed south Friday, Sunday, Monday, maybe a little wintry weather. And we'll look at some more long-term information as well. So, again, thanks for being here. And if you just hit the like or subscribe on wherever you're watching, that helps it spread out far and wide. So thanks for helping out. All right, we'll see you later.